Hello to you all here on a Thursday. We're tracking cloudy weather, cool weather, a little rainy weather. Also, all of these things are happening as we start to finish up our work week. Thanks for being here with you. Tim Buckley talking you through our weather changes, and there are a lot of them, over the next several days. We'll talk about a warmer weekend, which is pretty likely, but we still have to get there, get through these clouds for tomorrow. And then a Monday of next week, which is a little confusing to me right now, so we'll talk about that and why I think the long range has potential of being very, very warm indeed. So let's get right to it right now. We're tracking the cloud cover still present across the Piedmont Triad area. This is a live view over High Point, where the clouds are still pretty thick around the region. And that can basically be said for anywhere. Here's a look at Burlington right now, where there's a little bit of a breeze, temperatures in the mid-50s. Looking live here at Winston-Salem, where the clouds are there as well. And in Greensboro, similar story as we look over the Gate City this evening. Again, temperatures not too much to sneeze at the moment. We are in the 50s, pretty much on par for a late February, early March evening. Now the rain, it was impressive earlier today. It really came down for a while. We've almost kind of been out of habit of dealing with rainy days, but we've had more of them lately, and we're doing a little bit better now when it comes to our rain too, and the drought that we all talk about all the time. We did get new numbers on that drought, by the way, for today. So before I show you the rain totals, here is the drought situation. Now, a couple of interesting things to me. They left the drought basically unchanged for our local areas. So they didn't really take us out of it. They didn't improve our categories or anything like that. Everything was basically left unchanged across the state. And that's not a huge surprise, but a couple of things that were noted and were mentioned in the report is that the stream flows and the water levels were starting to show some signs of improvement. So I would suspect we might be doing a little bit to help our drought right now, and today should be another thing that gets us in the right direction. Rain totals varied area-wide, as little as a third of an inch in some spots to as much as over an inch in some areas. So if you look at Raleigh, for example, they were over an inch of rain. Asheboro, you were over an inch of rain. Greensboro, about 3/4 of an inch. Burlington, close to an inch. Either way, the rain totals were pretty good. And that's just another step to getting us in the right direction. To view it another way, Greensboro is actually doing all right over the last couple of months. Last couple of weeks. For the month now, we're closing in on 3 inches of rainfall. That's about on par for what we should see. And for the year, we're also about on par for what we should see. But the problem is when you talk about a drought, it doesn't form all at once and it doesn't fix itself all at once either. Here's a look. Over the last 7 months, February, January, December, November, October, September, all the way back to August, every single one of those months have been below average. Every one. And so it is a long-term rainfall deficit. So think about, spending yourself all the way into a big debt problem or something. Maybe we've been there before. You can't just fix it all at once, right? You've got to kind of pay it down, and it can take a while. That's something to think about with the drought. We have to go through and pay these things down with rainfall, bit by bit by bit, and kind of chip away at it. So that's going to be something we probably talk about for the next couple of months, not just the next couple of weeks. So what do we go for the next couple of days with weather? Tomorrow, we're still seeing clouds. It'll be cloudy across the area. Another little wave of low pressure is sliding by. And there is some chance that it does bring us a little bit of rain. Early tomorrow morning, we could still see a couple of stray showers. However, by tomorrow evening, we could see a little clearing. And then on Saturday, even though clouds are with us early on in the morning, we start the clearing process. So sunshine comes out for Friday afternoon, bumps us way up into the 60s, and then going ahead into Sunday, that's the big warm day of the weekend. I see that all this warmth in the middle of the country starts to head our way. We should have a pretty good time of getting into the 70s as well, and it could be well into the 70s. I'm talking about like mid 70s for Sunday afternoon. So it could be a nice finish to the weekend. As of right now, here's how I see both of those days playing out. We'll go for clouds Saturday morning with temperatures in the mid 60s. Sunday, sunshine pretty much all day. Into the low 70s we go. So improving conditions for sure. And yeah, the record high is 77. I'm not saying we'll get there. I'm just putting it on the map because we could be at least in the neighborhood of that. Now, going into the long term, some question marks. By Monday of next week, a couple things I can tell you for sure. It's going to be colder. We'll be in the 70s on Sunday afternoon. We will only be in the 40s, if not the 30s, throughout the day on Monday. So Monday's going to be colder. What we don't know right now is whether or not any precipitation will form. This is the European computer model. It keeps us pretty dry from Monday into Tuesday. However, being on the cold side of things here, it's at least worth watching. I don't really buy this right here, but I'll show it to you anyway. This is the GFS computer model from the US. It's trying to put out some snow for us and mixed bag precipitation, snow and ice Monday into Tuesday. Remember, we're going to be in the 70s the day before. This seems pretty far-fetched to me. That's a little bit farther than I'm willing to go. I'm going to call for a chilly rain in our forecast right now, but just know these things are happening behind the scenes. It is possible to make those big weather changes happen, but at most I could see us probably having some light icy conditions in the trees for the most part. Otherwise, we're pretty good to be chilly and wet early next week. It's not looking like a nice day, but as of now, I don't see a big winter problem for Monday. Stay tuned for anything if that changes. Now, in the longer range, we will start to build up throughout early next week. But toward the end of next week, it really looks likely that warmth is going to flourish and be really warm for several days. So we'll be watching what is a classic warm weather pattern developing in the southeast by the end of next week. We'll keep you posted on how that goes. In the meantime, our winter is just about to end. The last couple of days of it. December, January, and February is what we use for winter weather keeping. So we'll keep you posted tomorrow on how those numbers are shaking out. Here's the forecast: 50s, 60s, and 70s over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, still thick with the clouds. Saturday, clouds in the morning, sun for the afternoon. We'll be in the mid-60s. And then on Sunday, looking at low 70s, maybe even mid-70s. For Sunday afternoon. Monday and Tuesday, I see it as being cloudy, cold, and damp. And then we'll warm it up a little bit on Wednesday and Thursday, but really getting the warm side of things by the end of next week.